I'm your teacher from St. Paul's High School. Okay, this is our second video. You remember, I'm going to teach you history for standard 9. In the previous video, what we had learned about the first chapter, that is sources of history, and in that we had completed in detail about primary sources, secondary sources, what are the different types of written sources, newspaper in detail. And today we are going to do the remaining part of the lesson. So let's begin. Today we are going to see the second half of the lesson, that is sources of history. Let us see the topics to be covered. The very first topic is PTI, the Press Trust of India. Now you might be reading the newspaper. Now at the end of certain news, you will see the word printed as PTI. That means what? That the information has come from Press Trust of India. It is the largest news agency in India, and after 1953, it has become the most important source of information. And in 1990s, it had also started satellite broadcast. And we'll be seeing in detail how this Press Trust of India is important in writing the history of modern India. Let us see the second one, that is postage stamps. Now, earlier people used to write a letter. Okay, so to post that letter, they used to buy the stamps. Now these postage stamps, they used to stick on the envelope, and then they used to put it in the post box, and then it used to be passed from one place to another. So that is why this postage stamps are important part as a source of information, and a change in the postage stamp reveals a lot of things, and that we would be seeing in the detail. Okay, while studying today further. Let's go to the third one, that is material sources. Okay, now material sources are what? Material sources are the sources of history, are the artifacts like inscription, coins, monuments, pots and pans that have been obtained during archaeological excavation. So this archaeologists, what they do is they get all these materials like monuments, coins, inscription, and through that whatever information they get, they pass, that information becomes a most important source. Okay, so that also we are going to see in detail. Then the fourth one, that is oral sources. Now oral sources are just the information that has been transferred orally from one generation to another. So nothing has been written, nothing has been printed. So whatever the information has been passed, we need to we get those information, and that information we get the reliability, whether it is correct or not, whether it's supposed to believe or not, and that we are going to see in detail, that what are the different means through this oral sources has been passed, oral information has been passed from one generation to another. And the fifth one is FTII, that is Film and Television Institute of India. It is an autonomous society. Okay, it is recognized as a center of excellence in audio-visual media across the world, and it is one of the best film institute in India. Okay, and I just wanted to tell you that though they say that it had it started in Pune in the year 1960, but it was actually founded in Kolhapur in the year 1939, and then shifted to Pune, and later on it had a great demand. So we are going to see that also in detail. Let's begin with the first one, that is the Press Trust of India, PTI. Now why PTI is considered as the most important and major news agency? Okay, because it had a strong influence over coverage, employment, collection and distribution. Even in 1976, when government of India had declared the state of emergency, that time also it required PTI to merge with India's other three major agencies. Yeah, later on they start operating independently again, but at that time also PTI was considered as the most important agency. Okay, then as today we can say, that various radio channels and TV channels and satellite broadcasters have come. Okay, but when you consider PTI, they have a lot of struggle. Okay, so we'll see the important points of PTI. The very first one is foreign correspondence. In all the major capitals of foreign countries, it has its correspondence, so that provides great information to PTI. Second, if we talk about India, there are 1000 generalists and 100 plus offices. Now, you'll say 1000 plus generalists, what a big deal. But no, if you take one office and 7 to 8 people are working in one office, and if you multiply that with many states, you will come to know that so many generalists are working for PTI. Then PTI was the first news agency that started with computerized services through internet, as it was a demand for our country, and it started with PTI Stock Scan that gives you the information about the stock market. Data India, the data of our country. News Scan, it was directly for TV news channels. Okay, then it had a tie-ups for international use. The very first tie-up was for Reuters and AFP for international news. Second, for photographs with AP Association. And if you see India Today Network, they also get photograph services from AP Association. The third is AP Dow and Jones, that provide economic and financial news to PTI. Okay, and this Dow Jones is an American agency. It also provides all the technical aid to PTI. Now, the government of India did not want directly the news to be exchanged, so there were rumors that were spread that the Reuters and AP Dow and Jones are going to take over PTI, but that was just a rumor. It did not happen so, and that is why we'll take PTI as the most important source for writing the history of modern India. So I have given you a detailed information about the Press Trust of India, and now we'll go further to the second one.
Okay children, the postage stamps. The postage stamp has historical themes. They are all based on historical events. Now after independence, the three type of postal stamps were introduced, that is the flag, the emblem Ashoka Stambha, and stamp for air services. Although the first post office was established in 1837, the first stamp was introduced in 1852. So these are different stamps. Okay, now I'll give you the example of the OceanSat of India. Now in India, this satellite was launched. Okay, now only in India we have launched the satellite, and this satellite has not been launched in any other country. So how do the government of India pass on the message about the invention and progress of our country? So what they did do is they converted this OceanSat picture into a postage stamp. Now when these postage stamps would go out, okay, in the form of a letter, when they are going to connect to people, there would be an awareness that would be created among the people about this invention. Now if you are in a school, you are already learning about it, okay, through someone or through you may be reading about it. But what about the local people, the people who are not aware about it, especially in the remote and inaccessible areas where only the outpost of the government is through this post office and through letters? So through this postal stamp, what they do is they send the information, they let know the people about the historical themes. So you have to remember, the postage stamps are all based on historical themes or events that has taken place in India. Okay, and like you have the school events. All right, now this postage stamp are of different themes, like the political leaders. It can also be about the the leader who has done certain good work in that particular area. So that time the stamp has been converted. All right, then about the flowers. Now particular flower that has taken growth in a particular area, okay, it has been very rare or something. So again, that is an invention or something that has been created in a postal stamp. Then animal, bird, Okay, then any event or the silver, golden, diamond jubilees or centenary, bicentenary, a tercentenary of different events. So all this are what these the postal department issues postal stamps on a variety of themes. Okay, so the people are aware, about the certain different historical events that has taken place in that particular year. Okay, and then people will come to know about the changes that has been taken place since independence till today, because of the change in the size of the stamp, the subject of the stamp, the theme of the stamp, the color scheme of the stamp, and all those things. And this is not only the themes, there are many other things, but these are some common themes we are discussing about. Then you should also know about the Jal Cooper stamp that was established in the year 1977. Okay, now he is a philatelist. Now you have an doctor expert, you have an engineer expert, so he is an expert on the subject of postage stamp. Okay, he has given his important role in the study of Indian postage stamp to the international level. Okay, having started his career as a postage stamp collector, and this information is given in your textbook. You have to go through it. Alright, and that's the reason his postage stamp the Indian government issued in the year 1977. And though he was born in a Parsi household in Mumbai, he took this study to an international level and was acclaimed as an expert, okay, in this field. Okay children, so now let's talk about the material sources. So there are different types of material sources like the coins. Okay, so many old coins made of gold, silver, copper and other metals have been found in our country. With the help of those coins, we can get more information about the past. Okay, then we'll talk about the places of worship. So you go to different places and as a tourist, you see many churches, mosques, okay, then temples, and this worship places tell us about the architectural designs, social, religious, political and economic conditions of that period. Okay, then we'll come to the things in daily use. Now when you say things in daily use, so many things belonging to the past like metal, tools, pottery, etc. have been found buried under the ground. So even these artifacts tells us about the past, that what kind of things they were using, whether it what kind of pottery they were using, okay, what was the economic condition of the people in that time. Then we'll come to royal seals. Okay, so today we in any document we put certain stamp, okay, to ensure that this along with the sign, okay, to ensure that's a legal document. Those times even kings used to use such kind of royal seals, and these seals, whenever they used to use it on the document, that document used to become the legal document. About the modern architecture, so this reflects about the achievements of the king and the administration. Then comes to clothing. Okay, clothing tells you that what kind of material those people were using, what was the economic condition of those people and all those things. Then come to the museum. Okay, so museum reflects the paintings, the work done during that era, and that shows and that gives us the complete history and event about that particular time. Then ornaments, women and men both used to use the ornaments, and that also tells about the history. Numismatic is the study of the evolution, nature and development of coins. Early coins have been minted by using a variety of metals. A study of these coins help us to gain knowledge about the minting technologies used as well as the religious, economic, administrative and social aspects of that era. They help us to know about the important rulers or famous personality of that era from the images on the coin. This is one of the example of material sources. Second example of material sources are museums. So museums are based on the particular event, paintings and all those things. We have two big museums in India. One is Chhatrapati Shivaji Museum at Mumbai, that you should know about it, and second is Reserve Bank Museum in Pune city. Now you will tell me that Reserve Bank Museum in Pune city, is it related to Reserve Bank of India? Yes, it is related to Reserve Bank. Reserve Bank opened the museums on different events. They have also made an Reserve Bank museum on coins also. So this is also related to it. A legend is a story from the past that is believed by many people but cannot be proved to be true. Legends are also referred to as Thala Puranas. There are many legends about individual events and customs of the past which have been passed down the ages. Although legends do not provide direct information relating to any event, they reflect the social beliefs which prevailed in the society. Okay, children, as you have seen the legend story, okay, so what is this? This is a kind of a oral sources. Now, what is oral source? Oral source is something that has been passed from one generation to another. It is not in the written form and nothing is being given as an evidence. But what does the historians do? They collect and compile the data. Then they classify into different categories. So what are those categories? The folk tales, the folk songs, the proverbs, ballads and odes. What is ballads? Ballads are the form of a music, but it doesn't have songs. It have the verses of the poem along with the music. What is odes? Odes are the original Marathi verses songs, but then this is without the music. That's the difference between ballad and odes. Okay, so these are the different categories in which the historians divided. After dividing it, they start analyzing the information. Once they analyze and interpret the information, so the conclusion comes in the form of a historian which is being published as the results. Okay, and the last part, that is Film and Television Institute of India, that is FTII. Now suppose somebody wants to become an actor or an actress, can take a training from Film and Television Institute of India. Okay, now the government started it in 1960 at Pune. It was a department of Ministry of Information and Broadcasting of the Government of India. It is run by a governing council and appointed director. Okay, what is the main objective of FTII? The main objective is to develop suitable pattern of teaching in all branches of film and television so as to establish high standard of films and television education in India. So children, this such kind of institution, there is a more demand of films and television, and it has also become an important source of history for future generation and is one of the audio visual source. This is how the FTI logo look like. Okay, so you can just go through it.
Okay, children, we have come to the end of the lesson and we'll meet with the new lesson in a new video. Thank you. But before going, you through the assignment. So go through all this question and complete the assignment. Okay, so we'll be meeting with a new lesson in a new video. Till then, take care.